Hey everybody, it's time for your Bergen County real estate market update. Let's dive into what's going on because everybody is asking, hey, what's going on with the real estate market? Prices are up. Something is changing though, you guys. Values across Bergen County are rising. Home sellers are quietly pulling homes off the market more than we would expect in such a strong market, and we're going to talk about that. So on the surface, Bergen County looks like a very straightforward seller's market. Values are up, inventory's tight, demand remains very, very strong, but underneath there are some subtle headlines I want to dive into. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover price growth, hidden shifts in the market, your equity, and strategy, how to position. And before we go any further, I want to remind you that I am Stacy, my team, the Stacy Esser Group. We cover all of northern New Jersey, so we will help you like we help all of our clients and friends make decisions on real estate. We are here for you. Just text, DM. However, no matter what, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. All right, let's talk about the home prices. Home prices are still rising. $820,000 is the new median sales price. That is up 5% year over year, and 1.04 million is the new average price. That gives you as homeowners a 5% equity growth in just 6 months year over year, because you're looking at a 6-month year over year market update. Homes are taking slightly longer to sell, 37 to 39 days. That's 5%. So that's an even 5%, a modest 5% increase, but it is a meaningful signal that buyers might be taking their time but they're still actively looking. So just 5%, 37 days to 39 days. So that gives you a little bit more room as a buyer. Here's the story. It's always about the inventory. If inventory remains very low, upward pressure on pricing will stick. So at the current pace of sale, every home in Bergen County would be gone in under 2 months. We understand that's never going to happen, but I really need you all to understand how important, how impactful such a low inventory rate is in March. March is the beginning of the spring season. However, we had 6% rates in January, February, and into a little bit of March. So we should have been seeing homeowners come to the market because they're willing to give up their homes because they can get under 6% rates for a newer home. But we're still seeing inventory very, very tight, which means we still have a lot of demand. This is the other really interesting story I don't think anybody's talking about. It's withdrawn listings. So withdrawn listings are rising fast. 63% increases. That means sellers are saying nope, and they're taking their house off the market. Expired listings are essentially flat. But I want to go into why would a seller say nope, withdrawing my listing? So one reason is something happened, they can't sell. We understand that. But the other reason is they're not getting the number they want. Nope, they're not getting the number they want, so they're just simply not selling. They're selling, nope, if I don't get the number I want, I'm not going to sell, so I'm going to withdraw my listing. Another reason is perhaps somebody is withdrawing their listing and they're going to put it back on. Little behind the curtain moment, a lot of listing agents will take a house off the market and relist it just to stop the clock, the days on the market ticking. So whenever you're looking to buy a house or you're looking to use a house as a comp, go back and check the history of a house to see if that house was pulled off and put back on and pulled off and put back on. Fewer homes are going under contract. What this tells us, right? 9% less houses are going under contract. We have 5% less listings. 5% less listings. So both supply and demand are contracting simultaneously, and that dynamic keeps prices stable, but it also means buyers have a little bit more time to evaluate and are less likely to make this very emotional, rushed decision. So sellers who can understand the pricing dynamics are always going to do better because you want to price so the market understands the house and comes out and takes and feels like they need to win the house. That's how pricing should work in a market that is literally telling you that it wants to sell above ask price. It's not taking a very long time to sell, and there's a lot of demand and less inventory. So your house should not stay on the market for a long time. But you see there are two markets emerging. So it's no longer like a rising tide that lifts all homes equally. Your execution is going to matter. And homes that win are going to be priced correctly from day one. They're going to have a very strong staging and presentation. They're going to have professional photography and marketing. And for us, at least, we do a whole lot of other things. Like we do a whole pre-marketing campaign. We help a homeowner declutter. We help them get out of their house for all the years they've been in their house. We sell quickly over ask. It is not easy to sell an overpriced house, even in a very strong market. So when you price a home emotionally, it's going to sit. When a house requires multiple price reductions to generate interest, it could potentially affect your ultimate price for the house. You want to be careful about it. Okay, your equity, what your equity might look like today, which is very, very exciting. For example, if you bought a house for $700,000 a few years ago, your house might be worth like $820,000. And that's just like a basic. If you put more work into it, if you did strategically good updates, you're going to see a lot more equity than that. So what are you all doing with your equity? Well, are you staying and holding? Are you going to sell it and reposition that equity? And maybe you're going to get a lifestyle change. Maybe you're going to do what a lot of homeowners do, and they're going to pull their money out and they're going to move to Florida or they're going to move to North Carolina, or maybe they're going to do what a lot of homeowners do and they're going to pull their money out and they're going to invest it in another house. And that's the seller, the upgraded seller, the seller who wants to upsize. That's what's going to happen there. The market does feel different because of the mortgage rates. And people ask me about timing all the time. I tell them to follow the rates. I don't believe in spring market, fall market, winter market. I believe when the rates are low, sell your house. The rates right now are hovering at about 6.5%. There's definitely stock market volatility. We understand there's a lot going on internationally that are making people nervous. We had the same thing with the tariff issues last year, and that kind of stalled the market a little bit. It didn't necessarily create a different market. Like it didn't create a market that was more buyer than seller. What it did is it slowed down the velocity of the market, because when things feel uncertain and when rates jump and they don't feel sticky at a lower number, people tend to pause. They tend to pause, and that changes the velocity of the market, how fast the market is moving. And that means less homes coming to market, right? And when less homes come to market, there are less homes to buy. We don't have a tremendous amount of new construction in Bergen County. So it's hard to move this market with inventory unless we get homeowners that exist in this area to give up the house that they're in. And that's part of why we're so different than what's going on in the rest of the country. Anyway, I am so happy you guys hung out with me to talk about what's happening in Bergen County. I'm Stacey Esser. My entire team is here to serve you with your real estate needs. Please reach out to us, like and subscribe and comment. We appreciate you. Stay happy and healthy. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.